Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, 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 g'day everybody. I should say g'day curd nerds. That's my catchphrase, of course. Great to see so many people here already. Fantastic to see so far Zane, Wilma, Charlie. Oh, this is Anthony. Oh, okay. Mr. Borbag, Brenda, Paul, BM, Jeff Hamby, who's one of the members. You can tell because his name's highlighted. Patricia, Terry, Crazy Games, Packing Messy Cans, and Brenda. Is that Brenda again? Okay. I think we've got a question already, but a few things before we start. A bit of housekeeping, of course. I'd like to have big shout outs for the following patrons since we last had a show. Big shout out to Alan Vallow, to John Paul Broadway, and to Steve Lemon. They've all become patrons. And new members, YouTube members, Raylene Holder, Kristen Zassa, I think. Sorry if I crucified your name, but it's Kristen. Thank you very much for becoming patrons and members. Cheeses that are on the go at the moment. Definitely Limburger, that's in post-production at the moment, as far as the video goes. Pecorino Romano, the raw used milk cheese that I made a year ago. Just did the taste test yesterday, and I can attest that it is mind-blowingly fantastic. So a very, very good cheese. And then we've got the Limburger taste test, of course. That'll be coming up sometime next week. And this weekend I'm spending 2 days making cheese, so that'll be good fun as well. I'm not sure what I'm making yet, but I've got to find some recipes that I haven't used yet, or things that I've been planning to experiment with recently, so we're doing some of that. And of course, don't forget during the show that you can also leave a super chat if the chat gets a bit crazy and you can't get seen, or I miss you for whatever reason. Don't feel that you have to pay or anything, but super chats are good. The money goes, most of it comes to us, to Kim and I, for running the show. Anyway, on with the questions. Very first question of the day was from Zane, and Zane said, this was way before the show even started, Gavin, I just want to say thank you for all you do and teach and show. I made my first cheese, and as of right now, it's coming along very nicely. Well done, Zane. Feels good to be a curd nerd, doesn't it? Okay. First, another question. No. Brenda says, my work has kept me from lives from quite some time. Thankfully, it's 18 degrees and a snowy day. 18 degrees. Oh, Fahrenheit. Sorry. 18 degrees Celsius would be quite a charming day, actually. No building roads. Yay. Curd nerd is happy. Well done, Brenda. Patricia, thank you, Brenda. I do appreciate that. Of course. Thank you for the wonderful $10 super chat. Patricia says, trouble with Bel Paese. Made it for the first time 2 days ago. Curds not knitting. Cheese is loose and sloppy. Will it never be able to turn or wash it? Can you think I can save it? Or do you think I can save it? Don't know what's going on there. Curds not knitting. Cheese is loose and sloppy. Probably need to drain it a bit more. I know it's 2 days ago, but I don't know. You might have to call it a cheese disaster and start it again, Patricia. But maybe repress it, as you've said there, with some more weight. That'll be the only get out of jail free card you've probably got left. So yeah, give that a try. Other than that, you've got to get the curds to knit, or you won't have a cheese. You'll have cracks and all sorts of beasties who get into it. Deep South Texas, g'day. Crazy Gamer said, "Hi Gav, would you ever make some cheese and do a giveaway with it?" Yeah, see, there's issues with that, unfortunately. If the person I give it to is sick for whatever reason, not my cheese, of course, but they could litigate, and what's the point? There's no point in doing that. Plus, I'm not licensed, so that'd be even worse. So no, unfortunately not. I give it away to friends and family, the excess cheese, and I'm quite comfortable they won't sue me because I've already tried the cheese first, so it's no big deal. Okay. BM says, could you suggest a good cheese for a first-timer curd nerd to make, please, Gav? Yeah, a first good cheese. Try, today I'm favouring halloumi. Normally I say ricotta and paneer, which are two very simple cheeses to make, of course. But I think, yeah, try halloumi. It is really good cheese. You only need rennet. You don't need starter cultures. It does make a very nice cheese that you can fry in your frying pan and make saganaki and all that sort of stuff. Very delicious. Steve says, "Hi all, I managed to make up a Gouda today to add to the blue I made last week." Well done, Steve. You are a consummate cheesemaker. Brenda in her super chat said, "Blessings to you and the missus. Day off, so happy to catch live. Still haven't moved into your front yard with my 'will work for cheese' sign." Very nice, Brenda. Lil Boozy trip too hard. Where do I buy resin? Maybe that's rennet. And the bacterias. Well, any good cheese making shop you can buy those. There are many throughout the world, mainly online. Very difficult to buy stuff off the shelf. And the reason that a lot of stores don't stock that sort of stuff is because they don't have the foot traffic in and out, dedicated cheesemakers to go and buy it. So most of the cheesemaking supply stores are online. So Jeff, thank you, Jeff, for being a member as always. Question: do you intend to post the podcast still on YouTube? I watched a couple on here but never saw any more. If not on YouTube, can you provide the link? Thanks for the great videos. Yeah, I do. Look, we're getting a bit busy at the moment with the Christmas rush for our shop. Not to say don't buy anything, but yeah, it is getting quite busy. So we're a little bit run off our feet, and by the time it comes 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you want to pull out quitting time, and you really don't feel like doing a podcast. But I'll push myself. I'll get a couple of episodes, and yeah, when I do one, they will definitely be on YouTube and audio as well via the RSS feed. So thanks for the prompt there, Jeff. I do have lots of questions that people have sent me. I just haven't got around to answering them yet. Mr. Shannonite says, "I see books on your shelf and guess you like cheese. Never knew." Very funny. Chris B, g'day Chris. Gavin, I have a Mad Millie cheese press and just wondering, how do you scale the recipes? If the recipe calls for a 10 litre and I can only use 6, is it a linear scaling? Yeah, look, it seems to be. I certainly, when I increase the cheese or scale back, mostly I'm scaling back because a lot of the recipes are for 3 gallons of milk, which is 16 litres. 16 litres? Yeah. 16 litres. Oh, okay. Sorry, my producer just told me to turn the volume up. Hopefully that's a bit better. Not sure. I don't know what's going on here. Hello, microphone. Maybe if you're a bit closer. There we go. That'll fix it. Right. That should be better as far as microphone output goes. Okay. Or I could talk like that. Hopefully that works. So, um, don't have any other tricks up my sleeve except for maybe that one. Oh, there we go. Hello, testing 1, 2, test, test. That's a bit better. Okay. Sorry about that. Somebody's been playing with the soundboard. Not sure who since we last talked. Okay. Where did I get up to? Wilma and Charlie said, "Thank you, Gavin, for the milk tutorial. Took your advice and started with unhomogenized milk. The curd set better. The cheese yield was larger. Thank you very much. No problems at all." Crazy Gamer says, "How much is it to start off with all the basics? Basic stuff to make cheese." Look, I reckon you get away with, if you haven't got a fully stocked kitchen, you'd probably get away with a um, basic kit and all the equipment, probably for under $100, less the cheese press. You'd have to kind of adapt, use weights and stuff like that. Okay. Alrighty. So hopefully the sound is a bit better. Oh, that's better. Everybody said better. Lovely. Thought we're going deaf. No, that's my bad, obviously. Somebody's been playing around with the thing. Okay. Questions. Kristen says, "Hi, Gavin from New Hampshire, USA. How would you recommend using Jarlsberg and Buda-Kaiser? Best uses for the textures and flavors." For Jarlsberg, you could use it in a fondue. Absolutely fantastic. Any Swiss style. I know that's Norwegian, but it's based off a Swiss recipe. Jarlsberg, I actually prefer it for toasted sandwiches and stuff like that. It melts fantastically, has a fantastic flavour. But really, you can't beat it on a cheese board. Buda-Kaiser, really, I don't know, we just ate it just with just in sandwiches and stuff like that. So we found that was the best. It was great with fresh tomato in a sandwich as well. Bit of salt and pepper, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, the Buda-Kaiser just in sandwiches, it was just delightful. Really, really was. Okay. Spartan Mexico says, "What's the difference between a maturation box and a ripening box?" Absolutely nothing. It's exactly the same thing. So, yeah. Okay. Zhao Sun says, "They have everything you need to make cheese." Yes, we do. Everybody's saying that it's much, much better. The volume, obviously. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. It sounded all right when I listened in the headphones to start with when I did my sound check, but something happened. Brenda says, "Do you ship kits to the States?" Yes, we do. No problems at all there, Brenda. We have shipped many, many stuff. And in fact, Kim's just said yes. I should just skip ahead. Can we use rennet tablets and rennet drops together? No, one or the other. You have to figure out which way you want to use, whether it be liquid rennet or tablet rennet. I would mix the two. It'd start getting confusing. You don't know if you've got a proper curd set and all that sort of stuff. Colleen. Hello, Colleen. Hi, Gavin. I made 2 Jarlsbergs and they both collapsed at the end of the 6 weeks. What could be causing this? Thanks, Gavin. Best to keep an eye on it. So when it starts to get really bulgy, top and bottom, there's a good chance that there's going to be so many air pockets in there that if won't maintain structural integrity. It's a bit like Star Trek. But yeah, look, you just got to watch it. Maybe a little bit earlier. So you could use it at 5 weeks, because most of the eye development, and I've got a what did I make? Oh, I can't remember. Leodama or Marsden, same thing. and that it's just started to expand now, and that's after 2 weeks of sitting in the at room temperature. So I'm going to keep an eye on it. If it starts to split the wax or anything like that, then I'll put it straight back in the cheese fridge. Let the bacteria calm down a little bit and stop producing so much gas, and then I'll just monitor it there. That's the best way to do it. Or maybe next time, ease off a little bit on your propionic Shimani. It may be a different strength than the one I was using. I'm using the propionic Shimani from Sacco, which all the Sacco cultures seem to be very strong, don't have any filler or anything like that. So, yeah, hopefully that helps, Colleen. The Odin, Oedin, Thoedin. I like how Gavin found a niche on the web. Yeah, well, that's one of the reasons I kept the channel going, was because I didn't find any other cheesemakers on YouTube. There were, your factory tours and how they make the cheese in the factory and stuff like that. But beyond, say, a ricotta paneer and maybe a quick mozzarella video, there was nothing out there. So I thought I can fill this niche. And I love making cheese, so why not? So, yeah, there you go. Packy messy cans. Gavin's charm made me love cheese. Oh, you're making me blush. Stop it. Jeffrey says, cheese press cost is holding me back. Yes, we'll do it. How well do cheese cultures survive in storage? In storage, they survive very well because we store the cultures in the freezer. It's during the shipping. Really, the quicker shipping, you should ship it as quick as you can. However, the cultures are designed, and I've read the specifics on the specification sheets, that they can survive at temperatures of up to 30 degrees Celsius for 14 days. So that's certainly enough time to get them shipped to where they need to go. Okay, Bob Z says, a lot of cheeses are good on pizza, cooked in a wood oven, especially blue, to add a bit of sharpness. No, definitely. Yeah, I think one of my favourite cheeses to have on a pizza was Oaxaca. So Oaxaca, the Mexican string cheese, all we did was pull all the strings apart, and just spread that on top of the pizza. And then when we put it into the wood fire oven, it melted beautifully, browned on top, the whole 9 yards, and it was absolutely delightful. So a very nice cheese to put on pizza. Very surprising for most people, I would think. Okay, Paul says, thanks for the awesome new feta molds from Little Green Workshops. I am 2 weeks into making your farmhouse cheddar blue. Did you vac seal yours? I have a lot of mold and some soft spots. Maybe it's just blue mold. Paul, I waxed the blue. Sorry, hang on. Farmhouse cheddar blue, right? No, I didn't wax it. I just kept it in its maturation box, and I didn't leave a wet cloth in there or anything like that. I kept the humidity fairly low, so it didn't get any soft spots. Sometimes the soft spots are from condensation on the lid of the maturation box, and it drops down onto the cheese, and that's not good for anybody. That kind of tends to make the cheese go a bit funny, and you'll start getting red and pink molds in there. So try and keep it as dry as possible. Maybe just take it out of a maturation box if you're using one, and put it on the shelf, and it'll actually be a lot better. It shouldn't take too much longer to mature, and it should be good. And don't forget to scrape that blue mold off, if you don't like it too strong, off of the surface of the cheese, and then you will have that marbling in the middle. That should be really good. Okay, Rocky says, Mr. Gavin, made your Havarti into the second week maturation box using vinegar on hands to get some orange spots, orange colour. Washing with brine will not go away. Is the cheese okay? Yeah, Havarti is fairly prone to infection, and it kind of does that as well. But you got to keep it fairly dry. And I know that some of the orange spots and brown and grey spots come along. And that's perfectly fine. What they normally do is with your Havarti, what I would do now, I'd dry it off as much as you can, and I'd wax it because it's a very soft cheese. Uh, it won't um, it won't go very well in vac packing because it's so soft it gets squished. So I give it a just one final wash, pat it down dry with paper towel, and then I would wax it. So hopefully that helps, Rocky. Mean Droid, or Me Android, says, huge fan, Gavin. Love your videos. And my girlfriend laughs at me when she asks what I'm doing, and my answer is watching your videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mr. Me Android. Brenda says, do you have a kit with everything needed, including beginner cookbook instructions? I'm thinking of buying as a Christmas gift. She has zero knowledge of cheese making. Yeah, look, all the kits we have that we get from our manufacturer do come with instructions, and they all work. So because I've been using them. So the one that make the most cheese is the artisan cheese kit. You'll get the most cheeses out of that. It even has a cheese press in it. So you can check that one out. And if Kim's got the link, that would be great. The other one that would work would be the hard cheese kit. You can make 9 different cheeses out of that. And you'd have to get the press as well. So get the press, the cheese press we have. And it works out to be about the same cost as the artisan cheese kit. So just have a look at those two combinations, and that should have everything that you need. Maybe a few kitchen utensils she'll need, and maybe a pot, but, she'll figure that out. It'll be in the instructions. Okay. Mia says, do you have experience with cheeses originating from the Balkans? The only one I have experience with is Trappist cheeses, which are wash rind cheeses. But other than that, no, I don't, because those recipe types don't come up in any of the books that I have, and very hard to find recipes for unique ethnic cheeses online. But if you've got the recipe, Amar, sorry, then shoot it through. Just go to the About tab of my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find the email address there and just shoot something through to me. Patricia says, have you made Gorgonzola cheese, Gavin? No, I haven't. Great suggestion. It does take a bit of skill, apparently, because Gorgonzola. Right, I've written it down. It's on the list. So yeah, Gorgonzola does take a bit of skill, because in most recipes I see it calls for raw milk, and you've got to take milk from the morning milking and milk from the afternoon milking and do some fancy stuff to it. But I'll see what I can come up with. I'm sure there's a variation that will be suitable for home cheese makers. Okay. Thorodin says, do you have any suggestions finding cheap milk to use for cheese making? Or at least slightly more affordable than the supermarket? I've noticed powdered milk tends to be cheaper. Fortunately, powdered milk you can't make cheese with. It doesn't have the structure. Everything's been destroyed when it's dehydrated, so don't use powdered milk. Well, the one thing is, reach out. We've got the internet now. It's amazing. I like the internet. It's very good. See if you can reach out to any local farmers. Would be the best way, and negotiate a price for the milk with them. You can do that. If here in Victoria, it's illegal for farmers to sell milk at the farm gate, because they're not allowed to sell raw milk. So unfortunately, unless you know a farmer or you have shares in a cow or something like that, that's how some people get away with it these days, have cow sharing. So they pay a little bit each month to maintain the cow, and a whole bunch of people do the same thing, and they get a bit of the milk. So great for cheese making, that sort of thing. MP3 says, love the stream. Thank you very much. Alexander said something in Arabic that I can't read. Sorry about that. Kim Robin said, as a Norwegian, I love your Jarlsberg video. I was wondering for how long you've been making cheese, and is there some sort of substitute for mesophilic culture or a way to make your own culture? I've been making cheese now for 9 years. Yeah, 2009 was the first cheese I made. So 9 years. You can imagine how much experience I've had now that I make, a cheese every so often, probably once a fortnight. I've got, nearly 26 cheeses a year and every 9 years, so that's pretty cool. Now, as for a substitute for mesophilic cultures, yes, you can. If you use buttermilk, so that's just buttermilk in a carton from the supermarket, that is full of live mesophilic starter culture. Sometimes, though, it tends to be aromatic mesophilic, so it's got 4 starter cultures in them. I couldn't list them off the top of my head, but it does. So if you're thinking of making soft, fresh cheeses, it's perfect. Buttermilk is perfect for that. If I made the triple pepper jack with buttermilk, and it turned out very nice. A little bit crumbly. Not sure that was anything to do with the starter culture, but it was absolutely amazing. So, yeah, so you can substitute buttermilk for mesophilic starter cultures. So that's buttermilk, not the buttermilk you get out of butter making. It's cultured milk. Big Truckin' says, have you ever made Dangano? I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a wonderful cheese and pairs very Italian cooking. Okay. I'll see if I can find it. No. I always refer back to these notes that I make when I'm running out of recipes so I can find the next one. Oh, the translation, Kim says, is hello. Thanks, translator Kim. And thanks for all the links there. Spartan Mexico says, congratulations on your play button. Yeah, I thought you'd like it if it was up there. So people can see it on the live stream. I haven't actually hung it on the wall. It's just leaning up on top of my cheese books. It was really good. And it was good fun making that little montage at the end of the thank you video that I did for all the, not all the cheeses. I picked one from every year that I made a cheese recipe. So it was good fun. Amar says, yes, very hard to find. We will be in touch. I have recipes. Oh, great. Fantastic. I love recipes. And we'll go from there. Okay, Peachy Poo, good to see you. But quickly, Brenda, g'day. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that super chat. The question is, how was cheese making made before Reddit? Reddit? Would you ever do a video on the way it was made pre-Reddit and pre-purchasing bacteria? I think you mean Rennet, Brenda. Could be an autocorrect. Yeah, look, I could. I'll do early cheese making or something like that. Because you can get cardoon thistle rennet. You can also get there's a couple of fig trees around here somewhere, so I can try and get some sap from them. That will work as rennet. And obviously the bacterias, I just use yogurt and for thermophilic and as I was mentioning, buttermilk for a mesophilic. So yeah, go from there. Okay, Kim may have to translate Alexander's Arabic, but see how they go from there. Hesham, that's my dog in the background if you can hear it. Hesham says, hi from Libya. I wanted to thank you for all the information. Thanks, Hesham. Lily says, where I live, I can't find non-homogenized whole milk anywhere. Anyway, I can mix cream and skim milk to get the same effect. Do you have another solution for this? I'm just trying to think. Yes, you can use the homogenized milk. Pasteurized homogenized. I often do that for some cheeses when I can't get hold of my regular supply of unhomogenized milk. So um, that's what I do. And I use calcium chloride, and that gives me a firmer curd set. That's the best way to do it. When you go mixing cream and skim milk together, um, the skim milk has still been homogenized. And the cream has been homogenized as well, so all the fat globules have been smashed. So it's the same effect as homogenized milk. And sometimes the cream is actually ultra pasteurized, so that won't help your cause at all. So look, just make it with pasteurized homogenized milk. Do the best you can and use calcium chloride, as I do for most of my cheeses as well. So you shouldn't have too much of a problem there. Okay, Matey Gov says, I tried some charcoal cheddar last week. Have you ever thought of making some? It tasted amazing. Charcoal cheddar. I'll have to look that up. All these people come up with all these great cheeses. That's why I love this community, because um, so diverse in the different cheeses people have tasted. And I don't know if anybody's read my book, Keep Calm and Make Cheese, but I think somewhere in there I mentioned that there are over 2,500 different types, specific, individual, different types of cheeses, and that's without the variations. Like chili cheddar or charcoal cheddar or smoked cheddar or whatever, you know what I mean? So that's just specific cheese types. And, I think that I'll be making cheese for many, many years when you come to think about it, because there are just so many types of cheeses that I haven't even found yet. So it's just going to be absolutely fantastic. I'm so looking forward to doing this well into my retirement. Um, and just keeping the channel going with new recipes and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, thank you very much. I'll check that out. Charcoal cheddar. Um, Mr. YouTube says cheese magic. Indeed, it was. Alex says, hi Gavin, absolutely brand new to cheese making. First attempt at camembert. Forgot to add the starter culture. Can I salvage my cheese by misting onto the cheese I have made? Well, it depends on what you're talking about. So if you forgot to add the starter culture at the start, as in the lactic bacteria, then no, you can't salvage it. Salvage it. If you've forgotten to add the Penicillium candidum, then yes, you can dissolve that in water and mist it onto the camembert, and they will grow the white mold around them there. However, like I said, if you've missed the starter culture at the start of the process, the lactic bacteria, mesophilic or aromatic mesophilic, whichever one you're using, no, scrap it. You've just got a fresh cheese. It will not mature. Unless you used, of course, raw milk. Now, if you used raw milk, there will be traces of mesophilic and thermophilic starter culture in the milk already, so you will be all right. You will just need to spray Penicillium candidum all over it, okay? Okay, S. Clark says, I think she had an autocorrect. Yes, I think so. Sorry. That's okay, Brenda. I don't mind at all. Kim's being a very good translator here. So she's translated making mozzarella cheese, but when the grill has become thick layer, how do you do it? You got to grate it. Slicing mozzarella, fresh mozzarella anyway, it just turns into blobs and pools of melted cheese. So you're going to have to grate it somehow. Best way to grate quick mozzarella is you freeze it. And once you've taken it out of the freezer, it's rock solid. Grates so easy because it's not spongy and mushy. So it grates very, very easy. So that's how you do it. And then you sprinkle it over your pizza or whatever you're going to grill it on, and it turns out amazing. Kim says she's going to be right back, so no naughty stuff, please. Vins Vept You probably get asked this all the time. What got you into making your first cheese? And congrats on the play button. It would make a pretty fancy cheese board. It has made a pretty fancy cheese board. If you checked out the, thank you very much for the Silver Play, Silver Creator Award they're called now. Yes, I did eat cheese off it because I thought that'd be cool. What got me into cheese making? Well, Kim and I were trying to change our lives to one of being a little bit more sustainable. And we wanted to know where our food came from. And I did this challenge, a 100-mile challenge, I think they call it. Here in Australia, it's 160-mile challenge. And it's trying to source all of your food from 100 miles or 160 kilometres around your home. So big circle, trying to source all the food in it. And yeah, sure, we could get some cheese. It was touch and go there for a while because we are very close to the Melbourne, the city, the greater Melbourne, and there's no cheese makers, all just suburbs and stuff like that. But we did manage to get some cheese, but I thought, because I was growing my own vegetables, we have our own chickens and stuff like that. I wanted to see if I could source some local milk, which I could, and then we made some cheese with it. So that's kind of a little bit of a story. And Kim says she's back. Well done, Kim. Thank you. We've got, where I'm up to. Kim says, no, Kim's right back. Hawkey, g'day, how are you? G'day, Gavin. Any updates on smoked cheeses? Smiley face. Sad face from me. No, we haven't. But I have a lovely piece of double Gloucester sitting in my cheese cave, ready to be smoked. I've just got to get off my bottom and get some time to go and smoke some cheese. And it'll make a wicked video too, I think. So I'm going to smoke it after it's been matured, and it's definitely matured. So, cool. Gabriella, hi Gavin, greetings from Hungary. Greetings to you. Eagerly waiting for your Limburger recipe, since it's the closest to our local famous Palpuszatia. Oh, Palpuztai. Oh, that's how you say it. Yes. I did have a little bit of trouble with my Limburger, truth be known. We did eat it. It was nice, but it just didn't have the red schmear that I expected. I don't think I washed it enough, but I have, in the video that I've got to do the voiceover for it yet, I have specifically noted, don't forget to wash your cheese or you won't get the rind development that you absolutely need to make the flavour how it should be. Okay. Kim Webber, not grill, that means the outside or surface. Kim's having problems with translator. Okay, cool. And there's a bit of a discussion about the charcoal cheese. Looks fantastic and wicked. Okay, I'll check them out. Sorry. Kim says, loosely translated, that said, make mozzarella on the skin surface become tough. How do you fix that? You keep it in brine solution. This is back to Alexander, I think. Yeah, you keep it in a brine solution, 10% brine solution. Make sure it's balanced, and it's got a pH of about 5, and you won't have any soggy cheese. But you can only do that with traditional mozzarella, not quick mozzarella. Patricia says, fun fact, if you use mesophilic culture for making quick mozzarella, you get glue. I'll try it again with thermophilic culture as directed. Indeed, that's what will happen. You'll get a gluggy mess. The thermophilic culture seems to help with the acidity and the stretchiness and all that sort of stuff. Gil Green says, hi Gavin, is there any way I can make curd cheese? Mum used to make it from sour milk. Curd cheese. Well, cheese is curds. I think you might mean squeaky curd cheese, squeaky curds, something like that. I actually do have a video on squeaky curds, so you could go and check that out. Gil, Kim may put the link up. I'm not too sure. Wilma Charlie says, I Gav made 2 Parmesan wheels. However, on one I forgot to allow the milk to ripen. Should I scrap this cheese and make another? No, look, Charlie, because if the curd's set, then that's great. That's what that initial ripening time is for, to increase the acidity or lower the pH, so that the rennet can do its job. Now, if the rennet did its job anyway, then it's fine. So just mature the 2 Parmesans as you would normally. If after a month of natural rind development they start to look a bit gnarly, then I would highly recommend either vac packing or waxing those cheeses, because normal Parmesan wheels are massive, right? They're about 60 kilograms. There's no way the home cheesemaker can compete with that sort of moisture that's left in the cheese. You will have to keep the moisture in somehow by using wax or vac packing. Steve says, can I do a vid on cold smoking? Yep, I can. And I've got it down here, cold smoking my cheese. Okay. Rocky said, Gavin, you suggested waxing my Havarti to stop the orange spots. Is it okay to wax only after 2 weeks in the maturation box? Yes, just make sure it's dry all over. Your cheese will not be affected. It will taste just as good. And it may stop it from... Havarti has a tendency to go a little bit flat because it's so moist. It doesn't hold a shape very well, but the wax will help it keep its shape. Sorry, lost my words there. Casey said, have you ever tried the maggot cheese? The maggot cheese, meaning Casu Marzu, no, and I never will. Acrophobe says, I'm watching a live stream of a cheesemaker with a bunch of curd nerds. This is my life now. You better believe it. Stephen says, if you could eat only one cheese for the rest of your life, what cheese would it be? Oh, tricky question. I don't know. I love them all. I would miss them all. If I could only have one. No, you got me. I can't. So that's how dedicated I am to all the cheeses. I just like trying all of them, and I couldn't eat one for the rest of my life because I know there's so many out there, and they're so diverse, and they've got so many different beautiful flavours. Okay, Christopher, I know I didn't answer your question, Stephen, but sorry. Christopher says, as a student of artisan cheese making here in Sweden, it's always a pleasure following your videos. Keep it up. I will indeed. Thanks. Baitcaster Guy says, have you made a cheese one type for one half and another for another half? Look, you can do that actually. There are cheese recipes that I've seen where you can make half cheddar, half Romano, and then mill the curds together and press them together. So it's not like specifically you got half one side and half the other. It doesn't work that way. Very hard to achieve that. Without the cheese being mature, and then it gets shredded again and then gets moulded again after that. You may see some cheeses in Australia here. It's called Tilbury cheese. It's called a trilogy, and it's got 3 types of cheddar through it. All it is 3 different colours of annatto. So very similar to my marbled cheddar that I made. So, yeah, that's how you'd do it. You'd mill both the cheeses in together and press them as one cheese. Okay, where are we up to? Baitcaster Guy, no, I've already done that one. Spartan, Mexico, when you mature or ripen your cheese, do you have to mature or ripen it in a cheese cave? Not for all cheeses. Take my Leodama or Marsden, for example. It hasn't even touched the cheese cave. It was in the kitchen fridge for the first 2 weeks, and then now it's out on the side. It's just up here somewhere, over here, up. You can't see it. Yeah, there's lots of cheeses you don't need to ripen in the cheese cave. It all depends on the temperature. So find the cheese you like even Bel Paese. which matures at 4 degrees Celsius the whole time. You can just do it in the kitchen fridge. Jill Jan says, Gavin, is there specific cheese that's local from where you live? There's a really good goat's dairy just down the road near Ballarat from us. It's called Meredith Dairy, and they have their own flock. They have their own herd of sheep. No, not sheep. Goats. They do goats. Sorry, goats. So they use doe's milk, and they have a very wicked dilled sherv. So it's not specific to our area. So unlike the problem with Australia is, unlike Europe and the rest of the world, we were populated by Europeans. It was populated by Europeans and the cheese making culture for less than 200 years, maybe 300 now. And we don't have local cheeses like you do. We don't have regional cheeses. We have copies of European and some American cheeses, but we don't have our own specific regional cheeses. We have local artisans that make their own cheese, but they're loosely based on European recipes because they know that that's what people want to eat. So, unfortunately, not like Europe where we have all these regions where you can go to one region and get a different cheese every time. Gabriella says, would you like to try to make some cheese traditionally made from cow's milk, but instead of goat's milk? I've seen it on another channel before. Also, goat's milk brie tastes absolutely amazing. Yeah, I would. However, the goat's milk I get is very expensive. So it's $4.50 Australian for 1 litre of milk. So to make even a 4 litre batch, it's nearly nearly $14 Australian to make a cheese that would be less than 500 grams of cheese. So it is very expensive. That's why I normally make cow's milk recipes I'll add some goat's milk to it. And there's a lot of recipes like that you add 2 different animals' milks together. So that's pretty cool. We haven't got a lot of time left. 13 minutes, so I'll just quickly whip through these. There's quite a lot there. Paul says, thanks, the Farmhouse Cheddar Blue has stayed dry and I was hoping for a stronger blue flavour, but still the cheddar texture. How long would you age it? I think I aged mine for 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. I would have actually aged that a lot longer. Maybe I'd even go to 3 months, maybe 4 months, because the marbling was good, but it wasn't all the way through the cheese. It was only mainly through the centre band of the cheese. So try that. Gil says she used to make cooked cheesecake with it. Oh, right. You're talking about cream cheese, not curd cheese. So cream cheese, yes, you can make that. If Kim can find the recipe for the cream cheese, just pop that up there for Gil. Casey says, what's your biggest cheese-making disaster? I tried to make a blue cheese once, and it turned into a sloppy mess. But I tell you what, it made a wicked blue cheese sauce. So not really a disaster. In fact, I haven't had anything I haven't recovered from, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I can... Whatever cheese I make, I always be able to make something out of it, even if it doesn't look right or doesn't smell or taste the same as what it should. I use it for something else. That's the best way. Don't waste your cheese in. Spartan Mexico, what difference does it make when you choose to vacuum pack or wax your cheese? Well, there are 2 schools of thought. Some people say that vacuum packing slows down maturation. However, most factories these days vacuum pack their semi-hard cheeses. So I find that null and void. Some people say the wax breathes. I find that very hard to believe, because if it breathed, then you would get in molds and yeasts underneath the wax layer and it would infect your cheese. So it doesn't, as far as I'm concerned. Sure, it allows the cheese to move and grow. If it needs to grow, say, eyes or something like that, then waxing is perfect. But really, between the two, one's a little bit more finicky, as in waxing your cheese is a little bit more troublesome. and you could be prone to leaving pinholes, pin-sized holes in the wax, and that's how the infections get in. So yeah, look, it depends on the cheese I'm making. Depends on what I'll do. If I know it's going to be a softer type of semi-hard cheese, then I'll prefer to wax it. If it's a hard cheese like Parmesan or Pecorino Romano or any of those hard style cheeses, I'll just vacuum pack them because I know they'll mature properly. All of my cheeses have matured with no issues in backpacking. There we go. Safe said, I was trying to make mozzarella without adding calcium chloride, and the result was not rubbery cheese. The taste was creamy. Yeah, it probably will be. And our calcium chloride tends to, if you put too much in when you make mozzarella, it tends to elongate the period that you need to get the acid level up. So it just makes it the cheese making period longer. If you omit the calcium chloride, just make sure you're using the best milk you possibly can. Okay, let's move along, shall we? Thank you, Kim, for the squeaky curd cheese. Oh, we're past that. Alexander in English said thank you, Gavin and Kim, no problems. Rocky, thanks for the Havarti advice, no problems. Brenda, if only I could only have one, it would be extra sharp cheddar. Kim's favourite is the one with chives in it. That would be Cotswold, which is a double Gloucester style honey, I think. Amir, how successful were you with making Parmesan? How close to the original? It was kind of close. I wouldn't say it wasn't crumbly like a traditional Parmesan is, but it's very hard to make that. The flavour was definitely there. I'd tell you what, any shaved Parmesan you get, mine was spot on. So, yeah, I don't have too many. The only trouble is you got to age it for a year. You really do. If you don't, then you won't get the same flavour. Okay, Brenda, oh man, I have to go. Thanks for sharing the info. Gavin and Kim, I adore you too. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Kim says goats. For everybody, Acrophobe, have you invented any original cheeses? If you do, if so, I hope you would call it Gavin Chino. Cheeto. Gavin Cheeto. No, I actually have invented a couple of cheeses. Well, probably not invented them, but they're my recipes. And that is the Petite Blue. That is my creation. And you could say the Bloomy Goat Blue. Well, I cobbled that from like 3 recipes that I thought were all wrong and just made my own up, and it worked. So Bloomy Goat Blue worked as well, and that's an ash-coated blue Sherv style cheese, and you can eat it in 10 days. As soon as it gets its bloomy rind, you eat it straight away. And another one, the Farmhouse Blue. They seem to be blues, don't they? Farmhouse Cheddar Blue was my creation, even though I think cheesemakers around the world, some may make it somewhere, but it's my recipe and it worked. So there you go. So there's a few I've dabbled in. James says, best cheese comes from Wisconsin. It may do, I don't know. You haven't tasted my cheese yet. Kiss Hug Kiss says, hello Cheeseman, hello right back to you. Safe says, what's your opinion about making cheese from camel milk? From what I've read, and I've done a bit of research on this because somebody asked me, camel milk doesn't really set a good curd like you need for semi-hard and hard cheeses with cow's rennet or goat or pig's rennet. So the only cheese type you can make from it is like a yogurty sort of cheese. It's very strong. It doesn't have as many fats in it as what cow's milk does. But look, people do make a very rudimentary soft cheese from camel's milk. In fact, that's probably one of the favourites around the Middle East. It's very surprising. We have many thousands and thousands of camels here in Australia left over from they were imported to do camel trains, and they all run wild. It's wonder people haven't domesticated them and milked them. Surprising to me. Maybe somebody has. I better check it out. Okay, I've got 5 minutes left to go, and a whole swag of questions. Don't forget, it's not too late to whack a super chat in there if you want to. You know, it's pretty cool. Where are we? Valentin says, "Hi Gavin, do you like melted cheese plates from France and Switzerland, like fondue, Savoy, Save, Oyard? I think that's how you pronounce it. What do you think about it? Have you ever tried it? I've never seen it. I've got lots of notes today, haven't I? Fondue. Normal fondue I've had in Switzerland, but not a plate of fondue cheese, melted cheese plate. Wilma Charlie, Kim would love to see you make a cheese with Gav. Any chance that would be truly fantastic recipe to watch you both at once? I think our creative differences may get in the way. Kim doesn't like being instructed by me because she gets cranky pants. But I suppose I shouldn't say that. But seeing she's my lovely moderator. But I think it'd be a pretty funny video, actually. But yeah, we'll see. Kim's a bit camera shy. Matt says, and thank you very much, Paul, for that super chat. I appreciate it as always. Matt says, "Hi, Gavin, my Havarti's turning rainbow colour with mould. I've been wiping with brines or anything else I can do." Yes, I suggest you wax it. Would be the best thing now. Just dry it off with some paper towel and wax it for the rest of its time. Thanks, Kim, for that link. Appreciate it. Guile Gann says, "Australia, okay, create your own secret recipe. Great pronouncing my name. Greetings from the Netherlands. No problems at all." So said, "Thanks." Ethan says, "Do you need calcium chloride for Bel Paese on whole, non-homogenized milk?" Probably not. Hopefully the curd will set okay. It's pasteurization that is the issue, really, not really the homogenization. Homogenization weakens the curd set, but heat treating via pasteurization is the reason you need to add calcium chloride. So if it's been ultra heat treated, then you're in trouble because it won't set a curd anyway. So hopefully it's normal pasteurization. So yeah, that'd be cool. Anyway, Kim's winding me up, as you can see here. Last couple of questions. Epi says, "Can I add fruit to a simple milk and buttermilk cheese and age it?" You can add fruit if it's dried. That's the only way you can do it. I wouldn't add fresh fruit; it'd rot, and it'd sour the cheese, and it'd be terrible. So fresh fruit, dried fruit like apricots and stuff like that, that'd be all fine. Cranberries are nice too. I wouldn't age it too long though, no longer than 2 months, because you might get some all sorts of weird and wonderful things in there. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate your time as always. Sorry about the sound issues at the start of the show. I'll have a look at my soundboard and see what the heck's going on there. Don't really know what happened. But don't forget, you can support via Patreon or YouTube memberships. There's probably a join button somewhere down there. You get some perks. You get to see the videos early. Don't forget the merch store. We've got a new merch store where you can get merch like this and like this. And there's a whole bunch of designs. I think I've got about 8 new designs of T-shirts now, all around cheese themes and stuff like that. So pretty cool and awesome stuff. A lot of the T-shirts you see me wearing anyway. So if you want to get some cool merch, go and check that over at teespring.com/stores/CheesemanTV. Okay, you can also pick up kits and supplies and stuff over at our shop, littlegreenworkshops.com.au. And Kim's put the link in there. And thank you, Ethan, for that super chat. Appreciate it, as always. And Kim says, "Take care, everybody." Thank you very much. It's fantastic. And I love your support. And I really love the community that we formed here every week. It's a pleasure to come on and answer your questions, and it's so much fun. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you very much. And this is Gavin signing out. Have a cheesy day.
Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds. Well, g'day curd nerds.